Before I write any piece of copy, before I think about recording a video sales letter, before I do anything marketing related, there are 9 questions that I ask myself that give me the best possibility for success when I put that marketing piece out there. If you market any product or any service or any experience, if you've been doing it for a while, you recognize that you don't get to vote. You don't get to vote on how good it is or how effective it's going to be. The marketplace is who votes on it. And so you simply can give yourself the best opportunity more by understanding your prospect than your product. That's the first rule in marketing, which is that you have to fall in love with your prospect, not your product. Nobody cares about your product at the start. They care about themselves. If you can figure out how they specifically need help and individually can identify what they need, then you're in a good position to actually get them to do this. But we need to think about our prospect in advance of creating any marketing material to figure out what their state of mind is and what their emotional state is and what they're going to be like when they encounter your message. We communicate to people in different ways, in different modalities, based on where they are. So we've got to have a really clear understanding of a lot of things about the prospect, or at least create this really good image in our mind of what our prospects are going to be like when they're receiving the marketing messages, if we're going to create something that actually resonates and actually gets with them. So let me give you the 9 questions that I ask myself before I start writing any marketing material or before I start recording any video sales letters that will get the prospects to move where I want them to. So the first thing is that when the prospect first watches the video or reads the content, where will they be? Now, my automatic assumption all the time is that they're going to be on their phone, because if you look around the world, you look at everybody and their heads are down and they're looking at their phones. So the question is, where are they going to be looking at their phone? Are they going to be in a coffee shop? Are they going to be in their kitchen at home? Are they going to be on a subway, like some kind of mass transit? Where are the prospects going to be when they first encounter my message? That's really going to tell me how I need to set up my tonality, because the very different message that I want to send if somebody's going to be in their kitchen versus be on the subway. So there's that. Second one is, what time of day is it going to be? What time of day do I think I'm going to hit this prospect with it? If you're running digital ads, you can decide when during the day your ads are going to run. And so I want to think about what time of day is it that they're going to be. If I think it's in the morning, I'm probably going to give them a more positive, optimistic note, because studies show that people are more optimistic earlier in the day and then more pessimistic later in the day after they've been beat up for a while and they're just dragging because we don't get enough sleep in this country. So I'm going to be doing that. If it's afternoon, I'm probably going to accelerate their feelings of being tired and being bored, because I figured out what time of day they were going to be reading this particular piece of content. Third question is, will she be relaxed or tensed? I like to think about my prospects in the female tense, because that helps me tap in more to the emotion of what they're doing, even though when I'm selling to men, selling to women, it's still an emotional purchase. But I like to think about the prospects in the female setting because they have a much better grasp of their emotions than men do. So will she be relaxed or tense? This has to do with where she's going to be back from question 1, because it's going to play into the tonality of my message. If she's relaxed, then she's going to reject a tense message. So if I record a tense message and she's sitting at her home, she's going to feel this natural resistance, like this release, like I don't want to talk about that right now. So I've got to think about it a different way. 4, how long do I have to grab her attention? That's a critical thing to think about. I was just giving somebody some feedback on a marketing video that they created today. And one of the things I pointed out was it was like a repurpose from a speech that this person gave on stage. And one of the things I pointed out is that an audience from a stage will give you 30 minutes. If your time slot's 30 minutes, they're not going anywhere. They'll give you 30 minutes. But if it's on the internet, if you're doing a video sales letter, they'll give you about 30 seconds to figure out if they're going to watch the rest or watch the next couple of minutes. But if you don't catch them in that time, then it's not going to work. If I'm putting an ad for YouTube together, I've got to get a hook out there in less than 5 seconds. That's how long I have to grab the attention of my prospect, which is a crazy short period of time. But when you watch YouTube, you notice that in the first 5 seconds, the little skip ad button comes up and you're just gone. On Facebook and Instagram, you have 1.7 seconds. That is the average amount of time that somebody spends paused on one single post. So you got to hook them fast when you do that. That's how you got to figure out how long do I have to grab her attention. 5, relative to the product or service I am selling, and I'm looking at my notes right here, is relative to the product I'm marketing, what are my prospects' biggest fears? Have they lost money on this type of product before? Are they worried that they won't follow through if it's a product that's showing them how to do something versus doing something for them? Are they scared that their status is going to go down if they make this purchasing decision because it won't work or it won't give them the outcome that it says that it will, and that's going to make them look stupid in front of their friends? Status is a big driver of why people make decisions. 6th question I ask is, relative to the product I'm marketing, what are the client or the prospect's current thoughts? So what is it that she is thinking? Is she aware that she has a problem? Sometimes people are aware that they have a problem, but they're unaware that there's a solution to the problem. Or sometimes people are completely unaware that they have a problem and they're not aware that there is a problem in general, nor are they aware that there's a solution, much less my own solution. So what does she think? There's a definitive arc that I've got to figure out about what she thinks about the particular product that I am marketing. 7th question, what are the negative feelings that she has around the product I'm marketing? Does she think the product that I'm marketing is actually going to help her and give her hope? Or does she feel so frustrated for still having this problem? Does she feel ashamed about having this problem and she doesn't want to admit it? There's a lot of thoughts that can come up and negative feelings that are there. 8th question is, considering her thoughts and her feelings, what are her desires? Like, what's her ideal outcome? What does she really want to have happen? Because we've drug her through the pit there, right? What is it that she fears? What is she thinking about? What are her negative thoughts? But now what's her ideal outcome? Like, what does she really want? What's like this cool, massive, like amazing idea? The thing is, she gets this and she's like, it's game over. I got everything that I want. Number 9, and I hold up 3, but I don't know why I'm holding up 3. Number 9 is, what of those desires has frustrated her the most? Sorry, what of those desires had frustrated her the most? So when I think about this, it's like, let's say that her desire is to lose weight and she's tried a bunch of other different things and nothing has worked in that, even though she's quote unquote done everything right. Like she gets on a diet plan and she eats all the right stuff, or she gets a trainer and she goes to all the right stuff. Like, what's the frustration with that? If she does everything right and the weight still doesn't come off, it's a frustrating thing. It requires you to show her a new opportunity or something that she hasn't tried yet. But the only reason that you say that is because you've thought about what of her desires has frustrated her the most. So there's the 9 questions that you go through, or at least that I go through, before I create a marketing piece on video, a marketing piece in copy. I've really got to understand the prospect. Main message here, love your prospect more than your product. Figure out the answers to these 9 questions and you're going to get more of a lift on the response rate to whatever marketing efforts that you put out there into the universe. And of course, while you're listening to this episode, if you know somebody that needs to hear it, hit the share icon, send it over to them. Don't just keep this information to yourself. As long as I'm asking you to do stuff, if you liked what I did today, please like the video. It's nice to see. It's nice to see that somebody out there paid attention to what I have to say and it helped them in some way. All right, guys, thanks for watching this video. I'll see you on the next one.